Hey guys, so this next lesson is about the properties of a rhombus. The plural of that is rhombi. That's why I have part one is rhombi. But so you wouldn't say rhombuses, it would be rhombi. But anyway, so a rhombus is a type of parallelogram. And so all of those properties of parallelograms that we learned earlier in this unit would apply to a rhombus. So for example, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, the diagonals bisect each other, stuff like that. All of that is true about a rhombus. But rhombi have three additional properties. And so the first one here is that the diagonals are perpendicular. And so what that means, if you don't remember, perpendicular means it's lines that make 90-degree angles. So that means that in a rhombus, all four of these angles here where the diagonals intersect, those will always be 90. Always, always, always. So anytime you are given a rhombus, you can automatically mark those inside angles as 90 degrees. So that's the first thing that's different about a rhombus compared to other parallelograms. Something else that's true is that the diagonals bisect the opposite angles. So the diagonals bisect the angles. So what that means is this angle up here would be equal to this one. And since the opposite angles are congruent, these would also be equal to those. Something else that's true is these 1, 2, 3, 4 angles are the same. And this is true about every rhombus. So in every rhombus that you are given, these are all equal. And these are all equal, these little angles. So that's true about every rhombus. Let's see what else is true about a rhombus. So all four sides are congruent. So that means that these 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces are the same. The diagonals are not the same, but they do bisect each other. So these two would be equal, and these two would be equal. Okay, so that's everything that's true about a rhombus. Make sure you label your rhombus the same way so you can look back on it when you're solving problems. Okay, so I have a few examples that we're going to do. Here's this first one. It says that ABCD is a rhombus, so all of these examples are rhombi. So it says ABD is 60 degrees. So ABD, remember, is here from A to B to D is 60 degrees. It says find BDC. BDC is this one. So this one uses the fact that the opposite sides are parallel. I don't know if you guys remember what these are called, but these are called alternate interior angles. So the measure of angle BDC would just be 60 degrees. And another way you can think of it too is up in that picture, I labeled that all four of these angles are the same. So really all four of these angles are 60 degrees. And that's true about every rhombus. Well, they're not all 60 degrees, but those four angles will always be equal in a rhombus. Okay, so there's our first example. Here's number 2. So number 2 said if AE is 8, so this right here is 8, find AC. AC is the whole thing. In a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other. So if this is 8, this is 8. So the whole thing would be 16. So 8 plus 8 equals 16, and that's AC. Okay, so that's our second example. We have a few more. Number 3, you are given CEB is 2x plus 40. So let's look at CEB. CEB is this angle here, which is a right angle, because remember, in every rhombus, all four of those middle ones are right angles. So that just means that CEB is equal to 90. So you're just going to set up an equation, 2x plus 40 equals 90, and solve for x. So we're going to subtract 40. We have 2x equals 50, and then divide by 2. So x equals 25. Okay, so that's number 3. So the important thing here is that you remember that all four of these angles in the middle are always 90. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. AB is 5. Find BC and the perimeter. So in a rhombus, all four sides are the same. So all four of these sides are 5. So that means BC is 5. It also asked for the perimeter. The perimeter of a shape, in case you guys don't remember, is all the sides added together. So what you would do is for the perimeter here, you can do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is the same as 4 times 5. Either way, the perimeter is 20 units. So that's number 4. Okay, we have 2 more we're going to do. Here's number 5. So it says if CBD is 58 degrees. So let's find where CBD is. CBD right here. So this is 58. Find ACB. So ACB, I'm going to use a different color here. ACB right there. So here's what we're going to do for this one. We have to remember that a rhombus has 90-degree angles in the middle. So now notice we have this triangle here where we know that this angle is 58, this angle is 90, and we're trying to find that one. So we can add 90 and 58 and subtract from 180, and that will give us ACB. So here we go. 58 plus 90 is 148, and then we're going to do 180 minus 148 would be 32. So I'm going to fill in that this one is 32. That's what they were looking for, measure of angle ACB. One thing I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, and we're going to label all the angles in this whole picture because this does come up in your practice. So up in that top picture, when I first introduced what a rhombus was, we said that these 1, 2, 3, 4 angles are all equal. So if this top one's 32, this is 32, this is 32, and this is 32. Then if this right here is 58, this one's 58, this one's 58, and this one's 58. So that's how you would find all of the angles. And then all these in the middle are 90. You'll have to do that on your practice. Find all the angles. Okay. And this last example that we're going to do is you're given BAC is 5x minus 2. BAC is 5x minus 2. And we're given DAC. DAC is 3x plus 8. We're asked to find x. So we have to think about what do we know about these angles? Well, we just talked about how the angles that are next to each other are equal because the diagonals are angle bisectors. So we're just going to set these two equal to each other. We're going to have 5x minus 2 equals 3x plus 8. We're going to solve for x. So we need to bring the x's on the same side. So I would subtract 3x. So we have 2x minus 2 equals 8. And then we'll add 2 to both sides. 2x equals 10. Lastly, divide by 2, and we get x is 5. Okay, so that's our last example on rhombi. So some things to remember. We'll go back up to this main picture. Things we use a lot in a rhombus is that these 4 middle angles are always 90. Super important. Something else we always use is that all 4, not just the opposite sides, all 4 sides are equal in a rhombus. The last thing that's used a lot is that these 1, 2, 3, 4 angles that are opposite each other are equal. And then these 1, 2, 3, 4 angles are equal. So that's used a ton in rhombi as well. That's it about rhombi, and let me know if you have questions. Email me, or you can join our Zoom session today, which is at 11:30. All right, have a great day.